And you're looking live at stately Berglund Manor. Kurt Berglund here with another game of baseball simulation for your enjoyment. Doing something different today. We are going to play some Strat-O-Matic. And this is a special Strat-O-Matic battle that we're going to start here today. It's a 3-game tilt between the 1984 Cubs and the 1983 White Sox. It's the battle for Chicago, and we'll see who wins this battle of Titans from those two seasons. The 1983 White Sox were the American League West champions. They were 99 and 63. Tony La Russa was their manager. And they went on to lose in the American League Championship Series to the eventual world champion Baltimore Orioles. The 1984 Cubs were 96 and 65. They won the National League East, and they were defeated by the San Diego Padres in 5 games in their National League Championship, and the Padres went on to be crushed in rather humiliating fashion by the 1984 Detroit Tigers. So we have a 3-game battle here today. I've set the starters for the first 2 ball games. We're starting in Comiskey Park with Game 1 simply because the White Sox had a better record than the Cubs did. And the battle today will be between Lamar Hoyt for the White Sox and Rick Sutcliffe, the ace for the Cubs. However, in Game 2, we will have Richard Dotson at Wrigley Field pitching against Steve Trout for the Cubs. And Game 3 starters to be determined, should it go that far. So it's going to be an intense 3-game, well, at least 2 games, to see who wins this one. Best 2 out of 3 for this battle in Chicago. Let's go through the lineups for you before we get started. Again, we're at Chicago's Comiskey Park. Leading off for the Cubs and playing center field is Bobby Dernier. Batting second, Ryan Sandberg at second base. Batting third is designated hitter, since we are at Comiskey Park, designated hitter Gary Matthews. Batting fourth is right fielder Keith Moreland. Batting fifth is first baseman Leon Durham. Batting sixth is third baseman Ron Say. Batting seventh is catcher Jody Davis. Batting eighth is shortstop Larry Boa. And batting ninth is left fielder Henry Cotto. The pitcher for the 1984 Cubs today is their ace, Rick Sutcliffe. All right. For the 1983 White Sox, it is Rudy Law, center fielder, leading off. Carlton Fisk, catcher, batting second. Harold Baines, right fielder, batting third. Greg Luzinski, DH, batting fourth. Tom Paciorek, first baseman, batting fifth. Ron Kittle, left fielder, batting sixth. Vance Law, third baseman, batting seventh. Scott Fletcher, shortstop, batting eighth. And Julio Cruz, second baseman, batting ninth. With the White Sox ace in 1983, Lamar Hoyt, on the mound. We are calling this an October ball game, and so we're going to roll for Ballpark Effects here at Comiskey Park. That's a 4, and that means that the weather effects are good. Singles will be 13 and 13. And home runs will be 8 for left-handers and 16 for right-handers. The ball is jumping at Comiskey, old Comiskey. All right, so we've got Lamar Hoyt pitching to Bobby Dernier, leading off. Let's get this party started. All right, here we go. The pitch to Dernier is a fly ball to Rudy Law, and we have our first out of game number 1, a fly out to Rudy Law in center field. Batting second is Ryan Sandberg. The second half of the daily double, called by Carey, is a fly ball to center field. That's going to be Rudy Law, a few steps to his right, and that's out number 2. And now Gary Matthews, the Sarge, strikes out. He strikes out swinging against the Lamar Hoyt changeup. That's a 1-2-3 first inning, and the Cubs are out in the first. Rick Sutcliffe takes the mound for the Cubs against Rudy Law, leading off for the White Sox. Sutcliffe, of course, pitched at Comiskey as an Indian, and Law swings right through a Sutcliffe curveball for a strikeout, and that's one down in the Sox first. Carlton Fisk, takes ball 4, and he draws a walk. There's one out and one on. Fisk on first base. And Harold Baines with one out. And the pitch is a broken bat, base hit over Sandberg's head. And Fisk will stop at second. The Sox have runners at first and second with one out in the first. And Greg Luzinski stepping up. He is a fine double play target. Should Sutcliffe get him to hit it on the ground? And he just did. That's a ground ball to Sandberg. Sandberg is a 1, and so that's a 5. And so we're going to have a Sandberg to Boa to Durham double play to eliminate the Sox in the first inning. Side is retired on a double play by Luzinski. No runs, 1 hit, and no errors. We go to the second, and the Cubs are coming to bat. We are scoreless. Lamar Hoyt, the big right-hander, pitches a fastball, and Moreland lines a base hit to right. Keith Moreland's aboard at first base with nobody out. Leon Durham. The pitch to Durham is a line shot into right field, close to the corner. Baines is going to get there and cut it off, get the throw back in, but Moreland is going to streak, if that's the term I'm looking for, all the way to third base. The Cubs have something going. It's first and third with nobody out, and Ron Say stepping in against Lamar Hoyt. The Sox infield is in at the corners for Say, and he strikes out at a Hoyt changeup. One out. Men still at the corners. That's Moreland at third, Durham at first. Jody Davis stepping in. He's also a double play target. And the pitch to Jody is a lined base hit. It's off of Vance Law's glove. It rolls away from him toward Fletcher. Moreland will score. The ball stays in on the infield, so Durham stops at second. But the Cubs have the first run of the game and the first run of the series. They lead 1-0. Durham on second, Davis on first, and Say stepping to the plate. Larry Boa stepping to the plate. Larry did not have a great year in 1984 with the bat, and he hits a 2-hopper to Cruz. Cruz to Fletcher, Fletcher to Paciorek, and that is a double play for the White Sox. The Cubs score 1 on 3 hits and leave 1. And after 1.5, the Cubs lead 1-0 here at Comiskey Park. Sutcliffe against Paciorek leading off the second for the White Sox. And look at Tom Paciorek. He drills it to the gap. This one's going to roll all the way to the wall. Dernier gets it and throws it back, but Paciork's on second with a double. The Sox have something going in the second. Ron Kittle steps in, wants to drive in that tying run. He swings right through a Sutcliffe curve. There's one down. And Paciorek remains on second. Vance Law, third baseman. He swings through a Sutcliffe fastball, 2 down. And now Scott Fletcher steps in against the Red Baron, the Cubs ace. Ground ball second, that's Sandberg. And Rhino makes the play to first for out number 3 in the second inning. But, so the Sox are retired. The Cubs hold on to their 1-0 lead that they earned in the first half, the top half of the second. And we go to the top of the third with the Cubs leading 1-0. Henry Cotto steps in against Lamar Hoyt. The left fielder for the Cubs today hits a fly ball to Rudy Law in center field. He's going to come in a few steps, but he will make the play. And there's 1 down in the third. Bobby Dernier swings at a Hoyt offering, and it's a ground ball to Cruz. Cruz boots it. And that's an E4. Dernier's safe at first. First error of the game, first error of the series is by, of all people, Julio Cruz. And Dernier's aboard. Hoyt is excellent at holding the base runners. He's a -4. Fisk's arm is a 0. They're going to let Sandberg bat with Dernier on first and 1 man out. The pitch to Sandberg is a fly ball to center. That's Rudy Law to his right and makes his play. That's 2 down, and Gary Matthews steps in. Is Dernier going to get the sign to attempt the steal now? He is. Let's see if he gets the jump. He does get the jump. So that's -4, -6. And Dernier is safe at second with the steal of second. And Gary Matthews is still at bat. Gary Matthews at bat with Dernier on second and 2 men out. 2 men out for the Sarge. The pitch to him is a ground ball to short. Fletcher in a step and collects it, throws to first. And that retires the side in the third. So the Sox commit an error, but Dernier and the Cubs cannot make them pay. It's 1-0 Cubs after 2.5. And now Julio Cruz. Julio draws a walk. Juice is on first base. And now the Cubs have someone to deal with on first that can run more than a little bit. Sutcliffe is a -2 on the hold. Jody Davis is a 0. So the hold will knock Cruz down to a 1-15. He's going to try and get the jump, and he does. The throw to second is not in time. He steals second, and the throw may go into center field. Jody Davis is a 1-8 for a throwing error. And he throws it into center field. Cruz is going to get all the way to third on the error by Davis. So look at what the Sox have put together. Here in the third, it's Cruz on third. Rudy Law is at bat, and there's nobody out. Sox trail 1-0. Cub infield is in at the corners. The pitch to Law. Ground ball to short. That's Boa. Boa has an error rating of 22. He makes the play to first. But the runner's going to advance, and that's going to score Cruz on a ground out to Boa. We're tied at 1. There's one out in the third. We're tied at 1 as Rudy Law drives in Julio Cruz with a ground out to Boa. Fisk. Ground ball, Boa. This one is off his glove. And they're going to score that a base hit. Fisk is aboard with one out, and Baines will step to the plate with one man out. Harold Baines facing Sutcliffe. Ground ball first, that's Durham. Durham to Boa. Boa back to Sutcliffe. And it's another Cub double play, getting Sutcliffe out of a jam, but not before the Sox score 1 to tie the ball game. Using some small ball, Tony La Russa playing aggressively. All right, so Keith Moreland is up. Moreland, Durham, and Say in the fourth against Hoyt. We are tied at 1. And it's a fly ball to left. That's going to send Kittle to the wall. To the wall, Moreland, it's gone. 2-1 Cubs as Moreland's going to touch them all. Moreland scored a run in the second, and he scored the second run right now in the fourth. The Cubs lead 2-1. Hoyt, disgusted with himself, pitches to Durham. Durham takes a called third strike. Leon doesn't think so, but his opinion doesn't matter. It's one out in the fourth. And Say takes a called third strike. That's 2 down for the Cubs, as Hoyt has now struck out 4 men. With 2 outs, nobody on, Jody Davis hits a fly ball to center. Rudy Law is going to go back to the wall and collect it for out number 3, but the Cubs score 1 to take the lead 2-1. And we go to the bottom of the fourth in this battle for Chicago. And it's Greg Luzinski, Tom Paciorek, and Ron Kittle. And Luzinski hits a chopper to third. That's Say. Say throws to Durham. And we got 1 out. Tom Paciorek with 1 out in the fourth. Lines a shot. That's going to be down the right field line. It's going to be extra bases. And Paciorek, Wimpy, is going to get all the way to third base with 1 out. He doubled in the second. He's now tripled in the fourth. Ron Kittle has a good chance to drive in the tying run. The Cubs are going to play in at the corners again. They're expecting this to be a tight one, and so far it is. They're in at the corners for Ron Kittle. Sutcliffe to the belt. The pitch to Kittle. Ground ball first base. Durham gloves it. Looks across at Paciorek and steps on first base himself. And that holds the runner at third. So with 2 outs, Vance Law steps in. He wants to drive in that tying run. Infield is normal. And the pitch to Law is a fly ball towards right field. Moreland is not a gazelle, but he's going to make this one. And that's 3 outs. We go to the fifth with the 84 Cubs leading the 83 White Sox 2-1. Larry Boa leading off against Lamar Hoyt. The pitch to Larry is a pop-up. Cruz is under it, and Juice with a little flair makes the grab for out number 1. Henry Cotto with 1 out. Hits a ground ball to third. That's Vance Law. He throws across to Wimpy, and that is 2 down. And Bobby Dernier. The pitch to Bobby is a ground ball to second. That's Cruz. And Hoyt responds with a 1-2-3 fifth inning. We go to the bottom of the fifth. The 84 Cubs lead the 83 White Sox 2-1. Scott Fletcher hits a fly ball to center. And that's going to be Bobby Dernier in plenty of time for 1 down. Julio Cruz scored the only Sox run back in the third. The pitch to Juice is a ground ball to second. That's Ryan Sandberg. To Durham for the out. 2 down. And Rudy Law. Rudy Law against Sutcliffe. Hits a ground ball to first. Durham's got it. He's going to flip to Sutcliffe, and that will retire the side in the 5th. We go to the 6th, and the 84 Cubs still lead. The 83 Sox, 2-1. Ryan Sandberg against Lamar Hoyt. Sandberg is 0 for 2 today. He'll be followed by Gary Matthews and then Keith Moreland. The pitch to Sandberg. He swings and misses at a Hoyt changeup. That's out number 1. Gary Matthews takes inside ball 4, and the Sarge draws a walk. He did that 103 times in the 1984 season. And Keith Moreland comes to the plate. There's some stirring in the Sox bullpen. Can't quite make out what's going on. Keith Moreland is 2 for 2. He scored 2 runs. He did a solo shot in the 4th. And Moreland hits a ground ball to second. Cruz fumbles it, takes the sure out at first, and Matthews advances to second with 2 outs. And Matthews at second. Durham steps to the plate. Are they going to walk him to get to Say? No, they're not. They're going to pitch to him. And ground ball to short. That's Fletcher. Scott Fletcher's going to throw to Pachork, and Hoyt's disposed of the Cubs in the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's Fisk, Baines, and Luzinski for the 83 Sox as they try and at least tie this thing up. Fisk hits a fly ball to center. That's Bobby Dernier. And Bobby will make the catch for the first out of the inning. Now Harold Baines, right fielder, batting 3rd for the Sox today. He hits a comebacker. Sutcliffe's got it. Fields his position well and throws to Durham, and that's 2 down in the 6th. Greg Luzinski's 0 for 2. He is now 0 for 3 as he takes a called 3rd strike from Sutcliffe. We go to the 7th. Excuse me. Go to the 7th. And the Cubs lead 2-1. Ron Say against Lamar Hoyt. This is Hoyt's point of weakness check inning, or one of them, his first one. Say is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts on the day. Ground ball Fletcher. And Scotty can't make the play in the hole. Cannot make the play in the hole. And it goes for a base hit for Say. That's going to get people up in the Sox bullpen. We're in the 7th. Kevin Hickey and Salome Barojas are going to start throwing in the Sox bullpen. Jody Davis stepping in against Lamar Hoyt with Ron Say on first base. They disdain the bunt, and it's another chance for Fletcher, and this one will get through as well. It's a base hit for Davis. Look at the Penguin get all the way to 3rd. It's 1st and 3rd for the Cubs. Say is on 3rd. Davis is on 1st. That's not a lot of speed. Larry Boa is coming to the plate. It's 1st and 3rd, and so the Sox infield is going to play in all the way around. That takes the bunt away from Boa, so he's going to swing away against Hoyt. It's a chance for Fisk. A chance for Fisk. Fisk is an E5. He did not make an error. It's a 19 G2 with the infield in, first and third. They're going to get the batter at first. That's Boa. And Davis will advance to second while Say holds. Yeah. So Cotto steps in. Say is on third. Davis is on second. There's one man out, and Cotto steps in. They're in again for the White Sox. The infield is in. Are they going to go to the bullpen? La Russa says no. He's sticking with Hoyt. And Lamar, it's a shot by Cotto, but snagged by Fletcher. And that's 2 down. So with 2 down, Say is still on third, Davis is still on second, and Bobby Dernier stands in. Do they go to Barojas now? Not yet. La Russa's still in the dugout. The pitch from Hoyt to Dernier is a ground ball to Cruz. Are they going to get out of this? Cruz is an E15, and they got out of it. Cruz makes the play to Paciorek, and the Sox dodge a 2-man out with 2 men on with nobody out mess in the 7th, and the fans are fired up in Chicago. It's Tommy Paciorek to lead off the bottom of the 7th against Sutcliffe. He's 2 for 2 with a double and a triple and been unable to score either time, and you're not going to believe this, but Tommy Paciorek has hit one deep. Bobby Dernier to the wall, and it's gone. Paciorek hits a bomb to center field. He's tied the game at 2, and the Sox exploding scoreboard goes off. 2-2 ball game. Paciorek has a double, a triple, and now a home run in this one. Nobody out in the 7th. Sutcliffe gets Kittle to ground one to Durham, who's going to make the play unassisted for the first out in the 7th. Vance Law swings and hits a drive to the right center field gap. It's going to split them. Moreland and Dernier eventually corrals it, but Vance Law is on third with a triple, and the Cub bullpen is now going to get busy, and they're going to have to make a decision about their infield as well. Now, the Cubs in 84 do not have a short man in their bullpen that is left-handed. They don't have a long man that's left-handed either. So it's going to be Stoddard and Brewster throwing in the Cub bullpen. And Sutcliffe is in a jam. The Cub infield is going to play in. Fletcher can bunt. He's an A bunter. They're going to go with the suicide squeeze. Here comes Vance Law. Here comes the bunt. And it's, oh boy, it's defense. Suicide squeeze. Running speed for Vance Law is 11. Plus 2 is 13. Plus fielder defense rating, it's a 4, so that's to the first baseman, so that's Durham. So we got 15. It's a 1-15 coming home. Are the Cubs going to make the throw to the plate? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The lead run is steaming home. It's 1-15 that Law scores, and he's safe on what we'll call a fielder's choice and an RBI for Fletcher, a sac bunt. And a fielder's choice putting him on first. With 1 out, the Sox have a 3-2 lead, and Sutcliffe is in a mess. Julio Cruz 2 men are in, 1 man is out. The pitch to Juice is a ground ball to first. That's Durham. Durham's going to take it and flip it to Sutcliffe, and that's 2 outs as Fletcher advances to second. Now Rudy Law comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3 with a ribby in the second. Sox lead 3-2. The pitch to Rudy Law from Sutcliffe is a ground ball to Sandberg. Sandberg's probably the one guy you don't want to hit it to. And Rhino makes the play to first base to get the Cubs out of the mess in the 7th. But the Sox score 2 and now lead by a score of 3-2. Barojas and Hickey are ready to go in the Sox bullpen here in the 8th. Cubs trail by a run. We're in Comiskey Park. It's Sandberg, Matthews, and Moreland, the first 3 for the Cubs in the 8th. And Rhino line shot at Fletcher, and he's got it snagged for out number 1. Gary Matthews. And the Sarge takes ball 4. He's walked for the 2nd time. Is that going to be it with Keith Moreland coming to the plate? No, they're going to let Hoyt keep going. LaRussa goes to the mound, asks him if he's okay, and he says yes. So Hoyt is going to face Moreland. Moreland's 2 for 3 with a bomb in the 4th. The pitch to Keith is a ground ball to Fletcher. Fletcher has not been a Gold Glover today. And he's not a Gold Glover now either. As it bounces off Fletcher's glove, Moreland's going to be safe, and Matthews gets to second. The Cubs have something going in the 8th. Leon Durham coming to the plate. Here comes LaRussa. Hoyt deserved a better fate, but it's going to be Kevin Hickey in the top of the 8th to face Leon Durham. There's 1 man out. Durham not as good against lefties as he was against righties. Barojas is still throwing in the Sox bullpen. He will now be joined by Juan Augusto. And the Sox are going to try and get out of this thing by pitching to Durham. So it's Matthews on second, Moreland on first. There's 1 man out in the 8th. Durham with a chance to tie it or do better. Line shot. On a hop. Fletcher to Cruz. Look at the slide by Moreland that takes out Cruz, and he cannot make a return throw for the double play. Durham is safe at first. Matthews gets to second, but there are 2 outs. Hickey does his job and gets rid of Leon Durham. And here comes LaRussa again. Barojas is in. And Dennis Lamp will take his place in the Sox bullpen. Salome Barojas is on to replace Hickey in the 8th. There are 2 men out. Ronce is up. He's 1 for 3, but he has struck out twice. The tying run is on third base in the person of Gary Sarge Matthews with Leon Durham at first. They are holding Durham. They are at normal depth. The pitch to Say. Ground ball, shortstop Fletcher. Can he make the play to first? He can, and the Sox dodge a major bullet. They get out of it. No runs across in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Fisk, Baines, and Luzinski for Sutcliffe as they try and hold the Sox right where they are. The pitch to Carlton. He struck him out. That's 1 down for the White Sox in the 8th. Harold Baines. Hits a ground ball to short. That's Boa. He'll throw to first, and that's 2 down. Greg Luzinski's 0 for 3 today. The pitch to Luzinski. He's hit by the pitch. He's hit by the pitch. And he will lumber his way to first base. And he will be replaced at first base with a pinch runner. It's going to be Jerry Dibzinski. And we're going to try not to think about Dibzinski's base running antics in the 83 playoffs. So Dibzinski's on first, much faster than Luzinski. And Tom Paciorek with a chance for the cycle. He's doubled, he's tripled, he's homered. Can he get the single? Ground ball shortstop, that's Larry Boa. Boa flips to Sandberg, and that'll retire the side in the 8th. We go to the 9th. It is Chicago White Sox 3 and the 84 Cubs 2. As Mike Squires takes over at first base for Paciorek as a defensive move in the top of the 9th. All right. So Paciorek is out. All right. Barojas is still in. We've got Lamp and Augusto throwing in the bullpen. Jody Davis steps in. It's 3-2. The Cubs need a run to tie. Jody is 2 for 3 with a ribby. Can he get something started? Line grounder to Squires, who picks it, and he makes the unassisted play for 1 down in the 9th. Larry Boa is due. Larry Boa will not bat, and it's going to be a pinch hitter for Larry. It's going to be, who's it going to be? It's going to be Thad Bosley pinch hitting for Boa in the 9th. Boa was 0 for 3. Bosley, pretty incredible pinch hitter, 296 with a 375 on base and a 418 slugging percentage in 1984. Salome Barojas pitching to Bosley. They have Augusto ready, but Barojas is in. It's a fly ball to left. Kittle, the sloth, is on the run, but let's check his error rating. He's an E11. He gets there. Does he hold on? He does, and it's 2 outs for the Sox in the 9th. They're down to Henry Cotto, and Cotto will be pinch hit for. It's going to be Richie Hebner, who was an even more impressive pinch hitter in 1984. Hebner hit .333 with 2 homers. He had a .407 on base and a .444 slugging. They still have Augusto ready. And are they going to go to him? No, they're going to let... they're not going to go to him. They're going to let Augusto or Barojas try and finish it off. It's Hebner with 2 outs in the 9th. Sox lead 3-2. And the pitch is a base hit for Hebner. Base hit to right. Richie Hebner's aboard with a single. Baines gets it back in. And now we're going to see a pinch runner for him. That pinch runner will be Gary Woods. Gary Woods will run for Hebner. And we're going to see a new pitcher. Here comes La Russa. Barojas is coming out. Dennis Lamp is coming in to try and nail this one down. Lamp in 1983 was 7-7 with a 3.71 ERA and 15 saves. Bobby Dernier is due at the plate. There's 2 men out. Gary Woods takes his lead off first base. They will hold him on. Yep, they're going to hold Woods on first. Dernier is 0 for 4. He did steal a base in the third. Fly ball center field, Rudy Law coming in. Is he going to get there? He is. And the White Sox win this one 3-2. Let's look at the line score. For the White Sox, 3 runs on 6 hits. And they played some ugly defense, but committed only 2 scored errors. The Cubs scored 2 runs on 4, 6, 7 hits. And they committed 1 error. It was a throwing error by Jody Davis. The winning pitcher in Game 1 is Lamar Hoyt. The losing pitcher in Game 1 is Rick Sutcliffe. And the save goes to Dennis Lamp. Game 2 will take place at Wrigley Field tomorrow. And that means it'll be Richard Dotson for the White Sox and Steve Trout for the homestanding 84 Cubs. Hope you'll join us for all the action. This was a tough, tense, tight game. MVP of the game, I would say, is Hoyt. Hoyt pitched out of several jams, kept the Sox in it, and got the win. Honorable mention to Tom Paciorek, 3 for 4 with a home run that tied things up back in the 7th. So glad you joined us. Hope you'll join us again. Please click like and subscribe to my channel. So long, everybody.